How Liverpool could look next season after Mohamed Salah departs, and with contracts expiring, Mohamed Salah will leave Liverpool in the summer, giving the Reds a huge hole to fill in their attack. Plenty of questions about Liverpool's current campaign still remain, but the announcement of Mohamed Salah's departure has also shifted next season into sharp focus. For the first time since 2017, the Reds will be beginning a campaign without Salah in their ranks, and as it stands, the Egyptian might not be the only high-profile exit in what could be another busy summer at Anfield. But just what will Liverpool's squad look like when 2026 to 27 rolls around? We've taken a look. Goalkeepers. Alisson Becker's future has been shrouded in a little bit of mystery for some time, but earlier this month things were resolved somewhat with the announcement that the Reds had triggered the option to extend the Brazilian's contract by a further 12 months to ensure that he will stick around at Anfield for a 9th season. With injury having recently struck him again though, and Georgi Mamadashvili back in goal and seemingly certain of his place as the eventual Liverpool no.1 it will be interesting to see if there is a changing of the guard next season. Freddie Woodman signed last summer as third choice and taking up a valuable homegrown slot in the squad. We'll have to make a decision over whether or not he sticks around or looks for first-team football elsewhere. Defence. Unlike with Salah, there is little doubt that Virgil van Dijk will see out both of the years on the new contract he signed a year ago. But given that he'll turn 35 in the summer, there is a strong possibility that he will be entering his final season at the club. Joe Gomez is another who will be out of contract in the summer of 2027. With his injuries and age, he'll be 30 next May, perhaps counting against a new one. Again, though, Liverpool will want him around for 2026 to 27 unless he pushes for a move. Jeremy Frimpong, Conor Bradley, Milos Kerkez, Giovanni Leone and of course Jeremy Jacquet are all certainties for the Liverpool squad next season, but with little to no news on any new contracts for Andy Robertson and Ibrahima Konate. As it stands, both 2025 Premier League winners won't be around. Both will need replacing if they do go, with Leone and Jacquet surely too raw to step up and immediately become Van Dijk's first-choice partner. Centre-backs Nico Schlotterbeck and Mickey van der Ven are among the names who have been linked with the Reds, and while an experienced left-back could be sourced if Robertson departs, it is worth remembering that Kostas Tsimikas will return from his loan at Roma. Midfield Ryan Gravenberch signed his new Reds deal earlier this month, and Liverpool will also hope to tie down their player of the season, Dominic Szoboszlai, with talks over a new deal underway. The future of Alexis McAllister, signed in that same summer of 2023, is a little less clear, with the player himself recently confirming that no discussions on a new deal are taking place. Wataru Endo, another of that class of 2023, would be expected to leave. The noises around Curtis Jones's future have been intriguing in recent months, with the homegrown midfielder linked to both Inter Milan and Tottenham Hotspur as he enters the final year of his deal. Assurances around playing time might be needed, but Liverpool surely won't want to let him go. Harvey Elliott will be expected to leave after his frustrating year at Aston Villa, and a decision will surely have to be taken on Stefan Bajcetic after his lost year, but Trey Nyoni will hopefully benefit from the first-team exposure he's had this season and become a more viable option. In terms of potential transfer incomings, then perhaps a Premier League-ready midfielder would fit the bill, with the likes of Adam Wharton and Elliot Anderson linked with the Reds in dispatches. Liverpool have not confirmed that they are in for either player, and both would be costly. Attack whatever happens with the future of this Liverpool team, you can be confident that Florian Wirtz and Hugo Ekitike will have large parts to play in it, and the hope will be that once Alexander Isak is up and running, then he can become a vital cog in the attacking machine too, perhaps with Ekitike coming from the left. Cody Gakpo may have had a frustrating season, but Liverpool would have to receive a big offer to even consider selling him, while Rio Ngumoha will surely be seen more often next season after his exciting cameos in the current campaign, and hopefully Jayden Danns can get over his injury issues to play a role. Salah's departure makes the right of the attack the most intriguing place to look for incomings, but with the Reds highly unlikely to replace him like for like, they could look for a different type of winger. RB Leipzig's Jan Diomande continues to be linked, while others already in the squad can play there. Liverpool predictions for 2026 revisited after Mark Gay transfer howler. With Liverpool gearing up for what will be a crucial couple of months to end the season, we've taken a look back to see how our predictions for 2026 are faring, with some mixed results. Liverpool faces a crucial couple of months when Arne Slot and his players reconvene following the international break, and it may well shape how the rest of 2026 looks for the Reds, with their place in next season's Champions League still in the balance, and at least one big name leaving in the summer. This year looks set to be a big one, even if it doesn't go exactly according to plan. Back at the very start of the year, our writers Matt Addison and Michael Plant made their predictions for how 2026 would look for Liverpool, with some, shall we say, mixed results already. Wirtz ignites. What we said, we've seen glimpses of what Florian Wirtz can do, but I'm backing the German to really put down a marker in 2026. He has the potential to be a Premier League Player of the Year at some point. It won't be this season, but he can still reach those levels. Liverpool went big on the 22-year-old for a reason, to spearhead the era that comes after Mohamed Salah in its attack. It kind of feels like there has been a changing of the guard already, but that process is still ongoing. Wirtz is a truly world-class operator, and he is still getting used to the Premier League. When he has had a full season to adjust, then a pre-season, the 2026-26 campaign, could be when he really comes into his own. Verdict: it remains to be seen whether Wirtz will live up to the big ambitions Matt has for him, and whether he will take the Premier League by storm next season as he has predicted. It hasn't been a stellar first year in England so far, though. We have seen a few glimpses of just what he's capable of, and he did seem to be gaining some momentum at the turn of the year. That seems to have been slowed down a little by injury, not to mention Slot regularly changing his position. Based on what he's been doing during the international break, though, hopefully he will come back firing for the remainder of the campaign, and we can really see what he's capable of this year. Guéhi signs, what we said, while Crystal Palace probably made the best decision for its own season in keeping Mark Guéhi on transfer deadline day in September, you do have to wonder how different things might have been for Arne Slot's side had Liverpool got the deal done. Several big clubs around Europe are keen, especially with the prospect of Guéhi moving for free in the summer, but Liverpool surely has an advantage. In the player's head, he was pretty much a Reds player last summer. Guéhi will have the pick of the best teams in the world when his Crystal Palace contract expires. Moving to Liverpool makes sense though, and Slot's men will need to sign at least one centre-back in 2026. The smart money appears to be on Guéhi. Verdict, our first real howler here. In fairness to Matt, Guéhi signing for Liverpool made perfect sense. After all, he'd only had a medical a few months before. The decision not to pursue him again in January was odd, to say the least. You can understand the reasoning to some extent, considering he was set to be available for nothing in the summer, but letting him go to Manchester City without a fight, after almost nabbing him a few months earlier, was bizarre. We'll only truly know how bad a decision that was at the end of the season, but with options already low at the back right now, it's not looking like a great decision on Liverpool's part. Reds resurgent, what we said, Liverpool has certainly stabilised after its disastrous autumnal form, which saw the team lose 9 of 12 fixtures. A run of 7 without defeat and some significant improvements from individuals over recent weeks mean that things are looking a little rosier heading into 2026. But Slot's final press conference of the year was a reminder of how there's still much to improve on. The Dutchman discussed the team's set-piece deficiencies and predicted his team would gain cohesion in the coming months as the summer signings become more settled. I'm minded to agree and think Liverpool will kick on in the second half of the season. A top 4 finish seems likely, yet a title tilt looks impossible. On the other hand, should Liverpool click and gain momentum heading into the final months of the season, then expect a deep run in the Champions League. Perhaps this team even has the capability to go all the way. Verdict, that unbeaten run feels like a long time ago now. Rather than kicking on from there, we're now seeing the Reds getting booed off as their season threatens to go off the rails. It's only really Chelsea being even worse that is keeping Liverpool in the race for Champions League qualification. And even then, it looks as though it will have to rely on the Premier League getting an extra place in the competition again. A deep run in the Champions League is still possible, so we'll give Michael that. But given what we're being offered up on a regular basis, there isn't much reason to feel confident of getting past Paris Saint-Germain in the quarter-finals. Serious questions are being asked about Slot now. He might still be able to salvage something positive from this season, but right now, he and his players are only damaging their reputations. End of an era. What we said, sorry to bring a sour note to this mainly upbeat set of predictions, but 2026 will inevitably see a major update on Mohamed Salah's future. The fallout from the Ellen Road mixed zone debacle hasn't truly ended yet. Slot and the club's executives will likely look to draw a line under the saga when he returns from the Africa Cup of Nations in January, and a mid-season exit seems unlikely. The summer could be a different story, however. The winger, whose output is slowly on the decline, turns 34 at the end of the season. He will have a year remaining on his lucrative deal, and it could represent the final chance for Liverpool to earn a transfer fee for the player. Fans may wince at the thought, but 2026 could well be the year they bid farewell to one of Liverpool's all-time greats. Likewise, Andy Robertson could be in the same boat. The left-back nearly left last summer but opted to stick around and fight for his place in the team. Ultimately, it's a battle he has lost, and it's difficult to envisage Robertson remaining for another year and continuing to play a backup role. Verdict, well, we know now that Salah will indeed be leaving Anfield in the summer, so we can already say we've got that right. Well done, Michael. Liverpool and Slot have managed to patch things up with Salah for the most part, but his performances have just continued to decline. It was therefore somewhat inevitable that he would depart at the end of this season, even if the eventual announcement was something of a surprise. As for Robertson, we'll have to wait and see, but it does look as though he will be on his way out. That is a real shame, considering he still looks as though he has something to offer this side, even if it is just a backup to the improving Milos Kerkez. The writing feels as though it's on the wall, though, after he came close to joining Tottenham in January. He's probably glad he stayed put now. Summer transfers, what we said, we can expect a quieter summer in 2026 than the chaotic transfer window of 2025. Given the spending last year, in theory, fewer positions need to be addressed. The reality is a little less straightforward for Slot's lopsided squad. One significant area that may require attention is the centre-back position. Ibrahima Konate could walk away for free, Joe Gomez is ready to call time on his Anfield career, and there are no guarantees that Giovanni Leone will be fit to start the new term. It's no exaggeration to say that Liverpool could need 3 new additions at the heart of defence, especially if there are no January arrivals. Mark Guéhi is the obvious transfer Liverpool would like to complete, while Jarell Quansah, who continues to impress for Bayer Leverkusen and has a buyback clause in his contract, could be a simple addition to make. Verdict, it certainly seems as though we won't be getting another summer like last year, but based on what we've seen from Liverpool this season, there is a lot of work that needs to be done in the summer. Even with Jeremy Jacquet on the way, Liverpool still needs to bolster that defence. Koné looks like he's on his way out, and you wouldn't really expect Gomez to hang around for too much longer. Obviously, Guehi is out of the question now, and Liverpool might be minded to wait another year before deciding whether to buy Kwanzaa back, when he will be available for cheaper and the club can make a better judgment on whether he is the right man to potentially replace Virgil van Dijk. Not only that, but Salah's departure has just added a lot more importance on getting a new winger in. We won't see as much money being thrown around, but that won't excuse Liverpool from having a quiet summer in the transfer window. Liverpool news, two-way Luis Suarez battle kicks off and club responds to approach Liverpool news as the Reds begin plotting their summer transfer business. The international break came at a good time for Arne Slot, who has plenty on his plate before Liverpool's return to action. The Reds visit Manchester City in the FA Cup quarter-finals next weekend before the first leg of their Champions League quarter-final away to Paris Saint-Germain. While the European form has been strong, the Reds' domestic performances have been a cause for concern amid a deeply disappointing title defence. 5 points off fourth-placed Aston Villa, the Reds may need to rely on the Premier League securing an extra spot to qualify for the Champions League, unless they win this season's competition. As well as filling the void created by Mohamed Salah's impending departure, it's clear the squad requires a revamp ahead of next season and transfer preparations will already be underway. Here's a roundup of the latest Liverpool news. Red in battle for Suarez. The Reds and Newcastle have stepped up their interest in Luis Suarez. Not that one, according to reports in Portugal. The Sporting striker is enjoying the season of his life since arriving from Almeria last summer. The Colombian 28 has scored 33 goals and 7 assists in just 42 games to become one of the most coveted strikers in Europe. Portuguese title Correia da Manhã reports Liverpool and Newcastle are showing intense interest in the Suarez, who is contracted to the Lisbon club until 2030 and has a release clause of around £70 million. There is said to be a general feeling around the club that it is only a matter of time before Suarez follows the man he replaced, Victor Gyökeres, to the Premier League. While the Reds may be reluctant to spend £70 million on the player in his late 20s, there are suggestions Sporting could accept an offer of closer to £50 million. That said, if Arsenal's exhausted pursuit of Gyökeres is anything to go by, expect Sporting to play hardball. PSG quotes firm answer. Khvicha Kvaratskhelia is being linked with a move to Anfield again. The Georgian is enjoying another superb season for PSG and will be looking to knock Slot's side out of the Champions League next month. With Salah heading for the exit door, Kvaratskhelia could be the heir to his throne. While Arsenal and Chelsea have also been credited with an interest in the 25-year-old. The Independent recently reported that Kvaratskhelia's camp is open to a move. However, PSG won't let one of their key players leave without a fight. According to Team Talk, Liverpool, Arsenal and Chelsea have contacted the winger's representatives, only to be told by the European champions that Kvaratskhelia is settled in Paris and not looking to leave. Liverpool accelerate move for incredible 33-goal striker. Liverpool have accelerated a move for one of Europe's top strikers. This could be a big one. Liverpool have reportedly accelerated their interest in Luis Suarez. The Sporting CP striker has scored 33 times this season, including a brilliant return of 24 goals in 25 Liga Portugal matches. You can add 4 assists to those too. Correia da Manhã reports that both the Reds and Newcastle United have now stepped up their interest. They're willing to fight for the striker, who has an €80 million release clause, but it seems this one may have to wait. Neither team will want to pay that clause given Suarez is now 28. Instead, they'll be looking to talk Sporting down to around €60 million. Sporting, however, aren't going to negotiate until after the World Cup, when the transfer market traditionally opens up. This one may end up dragging on all summer. Then Luis Suarez. Situation summary: now or never for Xabi Alonso to Liverpool as generational first signing. Decided. Liverpool have been told which 2 Premier League sides they could face competition from for Xabi Alonso, with the Spaniard seemingly already making plans for his first season back at Anfield. Arne Slot is fighting for his future as Liverpool head coach amid the team's poor title defence. The Reds sit in the 5th and final Champions League qualification place, but they are being chased by Chelsea, Brentford and Everton. Liverpool's chances of winning silverware appear slim as they have been drawn against Paris Saint-Germain in the Champions League quarter-finals and will face Manchester City in the FA Cup. While they were knocked out of the League Cup by Crystal Palace, Slot will likely need to steer Liverpool into the Champions League qualification spots to keep his job, though the recent 2-1 defeat to Brighton did him no favours. Alonso has been a free agent since his sacking by Real Madrid in January, and the former midfielder's availability is casting a big shadow over Slot's future. Liverpool Chiefs are facing a huge decision on Alonso this summer, as Anfield reporter Lewis Steele has warned that the Reds icon could join Chelsea if FSG opt to continue with Slot. Now, what I heard the other day was a lot of these clubs think that Alonso is quite attainable now, Steele told Anfield Index. However, it is a bit of a now or never situation because he's going to take a job this summer, whether that's Manchester City, whether that's Liverpool, whether it's, well, I don't know who else, but, Chelsea might have sacked Rosenior by them, for example. So it's either you get him now or you don't, because once he's into one of them Premier League clubs, he's not going to be your man anymore. Liverpool will be aware of that when they come to make their mind up on Slot, and they probably will have. It's not the sort of thing where they can make a call to Alonso in on the 1st of June, for example. I think his future would be decided by then. Reports claimed on Saturday that Alonso has landed on Real Madrid playmaker Arda Güler as his first Liverpool target. Alonso was key to Güler's development during his time at the Bernabeu and is seeking a reunion on Merseyside. Güler would be a spectacular signing for Liverpool, as he is a world-class talent who has been affectionately labelled the Turkish Messi. However, Madrid would want a huge fee of over £100 million to sell the attacking midfielder. Steele's comments come after we revealed on Tuesday that Alonso is ready to return to management this summer. Get the inside story first by joining our Team Talk Facebook channel to receive the latest breaking and exclusive news straight into your messenger inbox. Xabi Alonso favourite for the Liverpool job. We can confirm that Alonso is in pole position for the Liverpool job, despite Andoni Iraola and Sebastian Hoeneß also being light. German outlet Bild state that Alonso is ready for Liverpool and has already reached an agreement with the club, with Slot set to leave no later than the summer. But David Ornstein insists Liverpool remain behind Slot, despite calls for him to be sacked. All our information, despite reports to the contrary, is that Liverpool are sticking with Arne Slot, Ornstein said earlier this week. There's no thought to changing coach. They are planning with him, and their priority is to give him the profile of squad to succeed. Intense Liverpool interest in devastating €80 million striker, revealed amid severe Xabi Alonso warning Liverpool are reportedly aiming to sign an informed centre-forward with an €80 million, £69 million release clause, while a journalist has told FSG it is now or never for them to appoint Xabi Alonso. Liverpool have already spent huge money on strikers, having captured both Alexander Isak and Hugo Ekitike last summer. Isak moved in a British record deal worth £125 million, while Ekitike cost £79 million. Ekitike has been one of Liverpool's best players during a disappointing season. Isak, though, had a tough start before suffering a broken fibula in December. Liverpool expect Isak to prove his worth next term by starring alongside Ekitike in a potential 4-2-2-2 formation. This means Liverpool could land yet another no-9 to provide backup and competition for the pair. Goal machine eyed by Liverpool. Liverpool hold intense interest in Sporting CP ace Luis Suarez and are battling Newcastle United for his services, as per Portuguese outlet Correio da Manhã. Suarez, who shares the same name as Liverpool's incredible former Uruguayan star, has been in breathtaking form this season. He has hit 33 goals in 42 games across all competitions, which includes 24 strikes in just 25 league outings. That form has seen Suarez emerge as a target for numerous big clubs, with Liverpool and Newcastle among those seriously considering him. While the Colombia international has a £69 million exit clause, it has been suggested Sporting may consider selling for a reduced fee of £50 million. Suarez is clearly an exciting talent, but Liverpool should make sure not to overpay on the 28-year-old. After all, Darwin Núñez was devastating in Portugal, but he did not justify his massive £85 million price tag at Anfield. Want more breaking transfer lines from original sources? Add Team Talk as a preferred source on Google to your favourites list for news you can trust. Concerning Xabi Alonso verdict, Liverpool journalist Lewis Steele thinks the club needs to make a quick decision on replacing Arne Slot with Alonso. Otherwise, he might head to Manchester City or Chelsea. However, it is a bit of a now or never situation because he's going to take a job this summer, whether that's Manchester City, whether that's Liverpool, whether it's, well, I don't know who else, but, Chelsea might have sacked Rosinia by them, for example. So it's either you get him now or you don't, because once he's into one of them Premier League clubs, he's not going to be your man anymore. Liverpool will be aware of that when they come to make their mind up on Slot, and they probably will have. It's not the sort of thing where they can make a call to Alonso in on the 1st of June. For example, I think his future would be decided by then. It has been suggested that Alonso wants to reunite with a Real Madrid star in his first potential Liverpool transfer. Winger interest confirmed. We can confirm that Juventus wide man Francisco Conceição is among Liverpool's options to replace Mohamed Salah. With Salah having announced he will leave Anfield at the end of the season, Liverpool are stepping up their hunt for his successor. RB Leipzig ace Jan Diomande is Liverpool's top target, though Conceição is also under consideration as he has impressed scouts. Conceição has performed far better this season than his stats suggest. Plus, Juve's desire to re-sign Federico Chiesa may open the door for Liverpool to land Conceição.